So I went to ACS this weekend. ACS is the AfreecaTV Challengers Starleague. So it's for amateur players to play, with players that haven't been to the round of 16 of a professional tournament, such as KSL or as ASL. So yeah, that's kind of how you figure out if you can play in it. It's had some ridiculously strong players win it, like Beal and Soma last year. I believe we had 2 seasons last year. This is season 1. It's going on all through the month of January. Anyways, the first tournament was in Seoul, and the second one was in Gwangju. For the Seoul one, myself, Nyokin, and Tasteless all went down and played in it. The Seoul one is always the most populated one, of course. It's the biggest city. A lot of people were there. A ton of people were there. It was very fun. And then Tasteless and I traveled down to Gwangju, which is in the very southern, western part of South Korea. And we played in the Gwangju qualifier as well. Today I will be going over both mine and Tasteless's replays. I asked him, he's got no problem with it. I know a lot of people wonder about Tasteless. He had wrist injuries for a long time. There's all sorts of kind of funny legends about Tasteless playing StarCraft. But he's back. He's playing well. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Alright, let's get into that replay folder. Alright. Hey, Zosty, thank you for the host. 127 viewers, I appreciate it, man. Okay, first I guess let's look at the bracket for Seoul. Okay, let's jump over there. So here is the bracket for the qualifier that I was in. Yeah, you see my name right here. Yoonho Jun I played against in the first round. This guy is like a 2400 Korean Protoss. His ID is Disney. He's from the 7411 clan, which is a very, very strong clan right now. It's like kind of the new Bai clan, if anyone knows what that is. It's like all the really strong new players are in this clan. Anyways, he went 2-1 against me, so I was eliminated in that first round. And then he got the top 4, but didn't get to go any further than that. Let's jump to the other bracket that Nyokin and Tasteless were both in. Alright, so first we had Nyokin play against one, Park Min-gi. Let me do a little check. Why can't I turn on my Korean? It's so annoying. Hold on. Hold on one second, guys. You have to, like, I need my main desktop to turn on Korean, so I have to turn off StarCraft. It's so annoying. Alright. Oops. Where is this? There it is. Alright, so anyways, ACS. We're looking at the tournaments. Let's take a look over here. I just wanted to, I'm going to type in pig. Okay, so the guy that Nyokin played, I can't find his ID. Looks like he plays in the qualifiers some. And that's it. Oh, it looks like they might actually have the brackets up on... Oh, nice. Okay, so let's switch over to this again. Okay, so Wikipedia tried to pull the brackets together. So you can see Callie actually went through and won this bracket. He ended up winning the whole tournament. You only get one player out of each city that advances. There I am, losing 2-1. Again, this was a 7411 Disney, a 2400 Protoss. Let's look at Group B. Nyokin beat some guy and then lost to Prime 2-0. I did get to see Nyokin's second game against Prime, and he was actually winning. And then a drop got in right before he could block it. This guy that Tasteless played against holds account number 12 on the ladder and account number 13 on the ladder. So this guy is some serious business. This guy is like... He was good. We'll be looking at those replays. Looks like he hit Sins and didn't get to go any further there. Really stacked tournament, as you can see. All Zergs in the final there. Spire loses to Cali. Yeah. You know all those players, probably, if you're really hardcore in StarCraft 1. Okay. So, I will go ahead and switch us over, and we will take a look at the games. Alright, let's take a look at Tasteless' games first. This was against such a good Terran player. So here's Tasteless up here, top right. And down here, this is, I think his ID is Ride Sky. And, or Mondu something or other. But anyways, this Terran is like, we literally just, people were talking about him. They're like, oh, Tasteless? Yeah, no, he's against a guy that's like 2,700 MMR. So, this guy plays a really safe game against Tasteless. Tasteless plays a very strong game here too, actually. For anyone wondering if Tasteless is good at StarCraft, the answer is absolutely yes. He's been practicing, and you'll be able to tell in some of these games that I show of him today. Anyways, so, yeah, this guy, again, number 12, number 13 on the ladder. He holds both those accounts with tons of games played, so you know he belongs up there. Alright, so Tasteless opening with a pretty standard build. 325 Nexus or so. Chases out the SCV. They're cross position. He scouts that there's a wall in. Now, I talked to Nick about the game because we watched this afterwards, because this was actually like kind of an interesting one, right? So you scout the wall. When you scout the wall, this is just out of vision. Here, let me remove that card. Okay, so this is just out of vision. Like, the place he placed it is there on purpose, so you actually can't see what's going on here. And yeah, I think Tasteless told me that he thought that it could possibly be two-fact. So, if I recall correctly, I think he made, like, an extra couple goons or something, just to be safe. So, see, he's thrown up the second gate. Pretty standard build from Nick. Piccolo, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, this is just a really safe build from our Terran player. Right, this guy is, going into Siege Expand. He's got the full wall. He only made one Marine. Very quick command center. See, it's barely behind the Nexus here. Nick just going 2 gates into Robo. Standard stuff once again. Alright, so the probe saw the command center coming, and a siege tank hit it. And so, what are you supposed to do in that situation? You're supposed to instantly take a third base. And there it goes. Or maybe that's a scout probe, but he's going to take a third base in a second here. He went down to actually double check what was going on. I think what happened there, because it was floating over, he wasn't looking at his probe and the tank one-shotted it. So when that probe came down, he saw, because floating buildings don't stay on the minimap when you're in-game. So yeah. Anyways, he verifies that there's an expansion, immediately goes up and takes his own third. So he's on, what is this? It's 6 goons. Yeah, nice. Perfect. 6 goons going into Observer. Very correct play from Nick, I would say. Third command center coming up. Yeah, he's got his +1 like halfway done. Second factory outgoing Goliath tank. He wanted to do his comm stats. Not wasting any time doing anything. Excuse me. It's very safe setup here. There's not a lot of action in this particular game. Just FYI. Unctuous, thanks for the sub, man. So very safely taking third base. And Tasteless instantly taking his fourth. Really like this play. Keeping his macro flowing. Arbiter tech on the way. Damn, look at that. Look at that. 65 SCVs, and he's nailing his facts. Look at the gas count. This is how you can tell someone's really good. Okay, just from the Terran perspective. Oh, Jaden, thanks for the host, man. But this is how you can tell a Terran player is really, really, really good. Okay? First off, the SCV count is very high. He landed his third base at like 9 minutes-ish. And then you see that he's adding the factories, and both his minerals and gas are low. This is like, he is nailing this build. This is basically the Flash 2-1 timing attack build. Okay, that moves out and hits before recall's ready. This is like perfect execution. When you see that money, like look at that money, look at this balance here. And watch for his move out time as well. Look at that. He's got his 8 facts going. Just nailing his macros at 70 SCVs. He hasn't been supply blocked even one time. Look at this. His 2-1's about to finish. Look at his supply. Nailing this build. Ridiculous. Okay, so let's take a look at what Tasteless is doing over here. So, some really good stuff. First off, he got his 4th base up. Sorry, I'm a Terran player, so I'm looking down here and just admiring how strong this Terran is. But anyways, he's macroing very well. He's sitting here basically maxed out at this point. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Going up to 11 gates at the moment. Yeah, he's got very good economy. Oh, 12 gates at the moment. I like this setup that he's done. This is really good positioning. It's not too close to the edge, but plenty of cannons here. It's going to be very hard to break this 5th base. And he's got this Arbiter over here waiting. I believe he already got Stasis. I believe he went Stasis first and was going recall at this point. Or maybe I have that backwards. You can't check in a StarCraft replay. Anyways. Playing quite well, I would say. He's got his Observer here, checking out what's going on. Okay. And they're both on 70 workers. Let's take a look. Okay, so look at this move out, right? So we're at 1220, and this move out, it's like, it's perfect. He's got his 2-1. He's already started +2 armor. I'm sure he's trying to start +2 weapons, but it's gas intensive. Or +3 weapons, rather. But this is like perfect move out timing. Okay, this is when Flash moves out with this build. This is like at 220, at 1220 or so, you're supposed to be maxed out and move out. And if you nail this build, we actually had a great conversation after the tournament. We all went out and ate together, and Nyokin and Tasteless and Rapid and I. And we talked a lot about this exact scenario, because this scenario comes up a whole lot. But if you nail this timing, Protoss can't recall you. Because if they recall you, they die. Because like, you are basically attacking just before they can have this many bases and recall up. Now, if it's a 2-base Arbiter Rush or something, obviously that's completely different. But this is a very standard macro game from both of them. So let's watch this army movement now from both of them. So Tasteless is doing this quite well. Hold on. See, so the Terran's moving up, and then Tasteless moves down. Here, we'll zoom it out a little bit. In fact, let me slow it down. Let me jump it back to the move out. Okay, here we go. So Tasteless is getting all of his units out. Here comes the push. Alright, so the second observer comes in, sees where the army's at. Sees that it's moving to the north. Now, this is really important. When a push like this is coming out, you can't engage it right away, because you're not quite ready to engage it. You need to buy a little bit of time. Nyokin was mentioning that you should really be looking to get your +2 attack done by like 14 minutes or so, to make sure that, because you do one less hit on tanks with zealots and goons. But also you want to buy some time so that you can get like 2 arbiters, you can make sure you have your stasis ready and all that. So what you're supposed to do is run around as Protoss here. So you see Tasteless is running down here, the Terran player scanned him, and now is moving down. He's mirroring the movements of Tasteless. So Tasteless takes a few army losses right there, tries to back up. A few units dying, not too many. Can remax like instantly, basically. Okay, here's an arbiter right here. Where's this other arb? Oh wait, no, that's the only arb right now. Okay. So look, his arbiter is almost at 150 energy, which is recall amounts. Look at this army movement. Now, of course, all of his observers were picked off, so it's a little bit hard to see. Obviously, if you can get your zealots on top of the siege tanks, that's going to be a favorable engagement for Protoss. But a little bit difficult to do everything. It's hard to play perfect. Okay, so that, what we saw was a recall right there. So he misclicked the recall, it didn't hit the right group of units, but also this is a situation where the stasis is a bit better. We actually talked about that quite a bit. I think that Tasteless's PVT is pretty damn good, but it's going to get a lot better when he, like, if he uses stasis here instead, like, let's say he stasises this group. Well, the rest of the army will beat this and the stuff that he recalled, just barely, but then you have 12 gates that are pumping, right? And then you have 12 more units come out. And you should be able to eliminate the army altogether, and it should go into a much longer game that he's already set up for because he has his 5th base up with cannons over here. So, the recall, this was not optimal, and he did not even get to recall that many units. It was kind of a misclick. So you see that was cleaned up pretty easily. And then Tasteless's army now is split, right? He's got the units coming out of gateways, and he's got these units, and this army's just gigantic. This shows why... This is like... It's almost like watching a Flash replay, because it just shows, like, yeah, you can't... If someone nails this build order, you can't go for 3-base arbiter recall. You can't do it. Because he's just, like, basically attack moving. There was, like, half of an engagement, and then he just goes. So yeah, Tasteless trying to do a counterattack there. Is not going to be able to quite do it. Alright, so that was game 1 of Tasteless here against 2700 Terran. The replay end naturally. You see Tasteless's good manner, unlike Artosis. Alright, there you go. Game 1. Alright, we'll zip through game 2 pretty quickly from Tasteless because he kind of like had a little bit of a brain fart. He took his 3rd Nexus a little bit too quick this game. So it's Whiteout. Whiteout was map 2 always. Tasteless up here. He goes 12 Nexus or whatever. There's Nexus first. Which I think this is a fine choice for the map for him. It's pretty hard to Marine SCV rush here, in my opinion. Alright, so blocks that first Vulture reasonably well. You can see that Tasteless is not one of those animals that will just rally his 2 gateways to your base. He probably realizes that there could be mines out there. And if he rallies his units to your base, he's just flipping coins. Okay, so over here, we have the starport coming up. So here Tasteless goes, he takes a third instantly, and I don't think it's a terrible play, right? He's doing it blind, but he's playing against like a 2700 guy. And when they open up with Vulture and go mines and stuff, I actually think that this is quite a strong play if you can do it. Because one of the places they want to lay the mines is at your third. So I almost feel like this Terran player may have misplayed a little bit running that first Vulture in. Like, he immediately attacked into probes, and what did he get? He got like 2 probes. Technically, that is worth it. But I think laying the mines to semi-contain the Protoss, or if you can get a mine up with the third, is really, really strong. That's my opinion on the situation. But Tasteless goes ahead and takes a third. Now, unfortunately for him, it's dropship play coming out of the Terran player. And he's going to be spread too thin, basically, when this comes out, right? You've seen that your opponent has vultures. You kind of have this spread of units, you know. Excuse me. So yeah, there's the vulture drop coming in. So yeah, I don't think that Nick's build was actually bad, but you know, obviously there are risks entailed in doing a highly greedy build like this, and the Terran player did go for the drop. Like, I think that the 2700 Terran probably wins no matter what, in like any scenario, basically, because he's 2700. But yeah, I mean, this was a much quicker finish because of build order choices this game. Yeah, this is quite brutal. Ooh! So painful. Alright. So that was Tasteless's games in Seoul. So that was it was a tough pairing for round 1. Probably the highest ranked player at the tournament ladder-wise. Alright, let's take a look at my replays. Alright, round 1, game 1. So, again... let's see. Yes, let's peek over here again. Here I am on the bracket. Yoon Ho Jun. He is a 2400 Protoss from 7411. His ID is Disney. You can look him up on the ladder if you'd like. Yeah, anyways, he's, here we go. This was an interesting weekend for me, tournament-wise. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Yes, the qualifier is single limb. Okay, so I didn't really have too many plans coming in. I think my overall plan was kind of like probably TVP, play somewhat normal, just kind of scout and figure out what I want to do. Well, that's funny, he even scouts the center. These kids do not respect me. And that came in from such a funny fucking angle, too. Wow. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. Okay, yeah, no, my plan overall going in was to play Fighting Spirit and, well, I was gonna play a little bit more aggressive. Probably no flash builds or anything like that. And probably a cheese of some sort on Whiteout, because I'm just not good at Whiteout. It's tough. Alright, so we have a little bit of Zealot pressure here. I don't micro perfect here, but I did alright. That was alright. I only lost one thing. Oh, here comes the goon. I was checking if there was a second Zealot. That's what that was, because I had a Vulture coming out. And here I had to decide, like, how I wanted to go. So I decided to just go ahead and make a CC on the high ground and then push down after. Make enough Marines and stuff to be okay. Oh yeah, and I had the second SCV out here, so... Or, well, that's my original Scout SCV, to be fair. So I see, okay, normal Nexus timing. I get in here. There's absolutely nothing going on. Oh yeah, he tries to break my ramp. I didn't like that very much. But, yeah, no, I did some nice SCV blocking there, I would say, and trapped those two goons. So, oh yeah, because I killed a Zealot already, and I just killed two goons, and I haven't lost any siege tanks specifically yet, I decided to add a second factory here. Because it really felt like a situation where two factory play could be nice. Like, put some pressure on with that. See, over here he's doing same build Tasteless did, basically. Slightly later second K, but that's fine. Alright, so right there, I out-microed him pretty severely. I saved that tank, killed one of the goons, and look at how low health they are. Now, I don't know his actual build right now, by the way, because I only saw one gate when my SCV went in, at a time where I feel like normally I see two gates if it's going to be two gates. Because there's 2-gate, 3-gate, and Reaver that you can go, okay? Just to clarify my thinking position, right? If you go 3-gate Observer, a lot of times those 2 gates come up at the same time after the Robo. If you go 2 gates, normally the second gate comes up quickly and then the Robo comes up. If you go Reaver, it can be the 2-gate into the Robo for the Reaver, which makes it slow, or you can go Reaver first into the second gate. So those are the things, and based on the time that I walked up with my SCV, it felt like it would probably be Reaver or the 3-gate Observer. That was kind of my thought process, but here it's just 2-gate, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with the build. Anyways, now I have 4 tanks. Okay, let's watch this slowly. By the way, at this point, I had a lot of adrenaline going through my system. Because I'm like, oh, I'm actually in a good position against this guy. Okay, so watch this. I'd like to thank my Vulture for not blocking my tank in like it normally does on the ladder. Okay, so I just killed 2 more goons. But I do have 2 tanks that are pretty heavily damaged, right? This is 2 volleys, this is 3 volleys to kill. So those are very easy to lose. So I kind of chickened out here. Okay? Now, I jumped back while I was moving up. I jumped back to make some things, and then I jumped back up here. And I just saw those 3 goons. And the way his goons were running, this is what I thought. I thought he pulled his other goons here, and this was 3 more goons. Okay? Because, again, I was thinking that this might be a 3-gateway play. And my timings might even be off on that. Obviously, my read was wrong. But I actually turn around here. Whereas, if you look at this situation, he has 2 more goons that just popped out. And then you look at these goons and how damaged 2 of them are. I can actually very easily kill these goons. Very easily push up and get in here and continue to rally. But you can see, again, I was like, well, maybe it's 3-gate, well, maybe it's Reaver. I'm sitting at home, I'm making a Goliath and stuff. So I'm not doing it correctly. So this is a little bit of a regret. I did not choose the correct thing to do at this time. If I had kept going, I think I have very good chances of possibly killing him and winning the game on 2 base. So I pull back. Didn't reset my rally. Oops. See, he only has 5 goons. Look at that, I even had siege. Jesus. Regret. I have regrets. Alright, so from here I decided to go into macro play. I was like, well, his 3rd isn't fast. Right, that's my thought process now. His 3rd base isn't fast. My 3rd command center will be at least as quick as his 3rd. I'm going to be fine playing a macro game here. So there's his third Nexus. It's a little bit slower than mine. But he did go for 2 base Arbiter timing here. I scan and see it. I don't think this eBay was needed right now. So at this point, I actually had a lot of adrenaline going through my system, which is... I've been off and on having a lot of adrenaline in some of these games, but when I feel like I'm in a good spot, sometimes that has snuck up on me. And, yeah. Oh yeah, he's made some DTs and stuff, whatever, doesn't matter, I have scan. I have scan, make a turret, whatever, everything's good. So he's expanding again. Oh yeah, this was such a weird little move. Just flies in with the, the shuttle. Whatever, you got a few SCVs and stuff. My SCV count is not spectacular here. I'm having a hard time adding my factories as well. You can see that my macro is not flowing very well, right? Now, obviously this is a different build than what Tasteless' opponent opened up with, but I'm not balancing my gas and minerals well here. Just want to point that out. Okay. So here, obviously, I'm just kind of getting ready to push out. It's kind of a weird game, so I'm trying to feel the right time to attack. Because all the expansion timings are off. If you just go like regular 7-minute to 7-minute 15-second third base, all the timings are very easy to know when to move. In these games, it's a little bit harder. Oh, by the way, he just flew this into my base. There's my +1. There's my +2. So this is not optimal for me. Not optimal. Goodbye, upgrades. Yeah, now he's just making nexuses everywhere. I'm basically screwed at this point. Not very much else to see here. Get in and fuck up his natural some. He does another recall. I just go over and lose the rest of my army. GG! Alright. Wraiths cost too much to try to counter things with them. A Wraith costs as much as a siege tank. So you just don't go Wraiths against Arbiters. I have done it occasionally on very weird maps. I like some weird off-brand play, as you're going to see in some of my other games. But yeah, that's one that isn't used ever, for the guy asking in the chat. Did you say you're a momentum player? Like your emotions determine the outcome of your skill? Well, I mean on ladder. Probably my emotions have a lot to do with how well I do. I think in tournaments... In this match in particular, I kind of like hyped myself out or something, and I was full of adrenaline. I was not... I was playing below how well I normally play. In Gwangju, I played a lot better, and we'll take a look at those replays next. Okay, so Whiteout. I'm very vocal about how 6 o'clock on Whiteout is completely unplayable. So as soon as I got 6 o'clock, I'm like, yep. 100% we are cheesing. I was pretty sure I was going to do something aggressive here. Because I'm not very good at Whiteout. It's a very tough map against Protoss. Shuttles are very, very strong. You can't stop recalls on this map. So you have to do something different. This placement specifically screws up macro. I want to put that out there. Sometimes you'll see a pro put like the depot here and the racks here, but if you start to lose control of that area, you no longer can micro your Marines there against the Zealot if it's over here, because it's too far away from everything. Here is kind of the middle ground, where I see the Zealot come up, I can micro well, and if I start to lose control of this area, I can actually retake it by sending a couple SCVs to help. So this, even though this is terrible for long game, because your factories need to go here and here, and so this is really in the way. But I knew I was going to cheese, and it wasn't going to turn into an 8 or 9 factory game. Why do I play on 4x3, someone asks. 4x3 is good for BroodWar. You don't have as many hotkeys. You only have 3 positional hotkeys, and you have 10 regular hotkeys. And you don't have multiple building selection, right? So you actually have to scroll the screen a lot more than in something like StarCraft 2. In StarCraft 2, you can basically jump around via hotkeys for most of it, and you don't need to scroll. Now, if it's widescreen and I have to scroll a lot, that takes a lot of extra time. Very much extra time. Also, if you're trying to play from a more centered position, most bases are like this. If we're on widescreen, do you know where this nexus is on your screen, like for your F keys? It looks like that, right? Actually, it would be like right there, right? Because the minerals would be right up against the edge. So that's what that would look like on a widescreen, right? So there's a lot of different reasons. I think 4x3 is actually better for BroodWar, except in very certain situations. Like, I think TVT, Siege Tank for Siege Tank, widescreen is much better. Okay, anyways. He did do a proxy gate, and is putting on them pressure. But I did make a strong building placement, so... Okay, I get the probe, good stuff. Yep. Ooh! Ah! Alright, not bad. That could have been worse. I didn't lose them, so that's important. They're low on health, but I did not lose them. Yeah, I pulled too many SCVs right there. I was trying to block him in. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy overall with my micro here. I think I did alright. I lost like 3 Marines and killed 2 Zealots so far. Maybe I'll lose 1 more or something. Yeah, that seems alright. Get a Vulture out. Now this is a nice thing about Whiteout, by the way, is... Oops. When you send out a Vulture, a lot of times Protoss players on normal maps like Circuit Breakers or Fighting Spirit can zone out the Vulture and chase it down and stuff. On this map, it's impossible. You just go into the trees and they don't even bother, because it's like, oh, it's gone forever. You can't see it. Anyways, I scouted his base with the SCV. I saw gateway. It's very normal to make your second gate once you proxy. I scout, okay, there's a gateway right there. Up into the trees. You'll never see me again. Okay, so I didn't really lose a lot of SCVs. I didn't lose a lot of Marines or anything. So I'm like, you know what? It's 2-fact time. This Vulture is so important, by the way, right? It looks like he wanted to take a Nexus, and I just got to deny that, which is amazing. To slow that down at all. And then back to the trees. Or not even back to the trees. Come on, go back to the trees. And there it is. Never find it again. Yeah, right there, I started a Vulture on my second factory, and then canceled and got a second add-on. Okay, did he actually see my second fact there? I want to just jump back a little bit. 24. Oops. Okay, let's go. I want to see if he sees my second fact. Nope. Okay. Those reverse ramps, sometimes it's hard to tell. Alright. Here he is. If you ever do a 2-fact and you can get mines up between their army and their base, you're gonna win the game. That is superb right there. Okay, so this is kind of a funny thing. He hides his goons up there. Here we go! I should have checked up there. I did not, though. Okay, so... This is annoying at the bottom of the screen. So, he actually counterattacks me when I move out. But I was close enough that I was like... I was thinking about just trying to hold it. I'm like, no. This is 4 free goons. Just go kill it. Well, not free. I lost a siege tank there. Anyways, now my rush is really underway. Got my speed and my siege coming. Already have my mines, of course. Yeah, he's going 3-gate obs this game. Well, after the proxy gate, of course. It's kind of a weird game. So here I just take out the pylon. You don't need to kill the gate. It's pointless. So I am wrecking him right here. Like, wrecking. Making turrets and everything. But again, like I mentioned, I had some adrenaline problems during the Seoul tournament. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go up the ramp and try to kill him, which is literally the stupidest thing you could ever do. How often do I say on my stream, don't go up the ramp when you 2-fact! If you go up the ramp, you're looking for a loss. Because if you lose all your units and you're both on one base, the Protoss is actually ahead. Okay? Don't go up the fucking ramp. Don't do it. Of course I go up the ramp. Look at me sieging. Yeah, LOL. Like that's gonna do anything. Terrible. So now he gets to break out for free. Okay, well, I'm expanding. This is not optimal. His probe count isn't that good, but he has got a very healthy gateway count, I guess. Oh, yeah. I went to Starport here. Because, the one thing you don't ever want to do is play against, and which is extra stupid because of the amount of gateways he had. I just was not really thinking very straight, but you don't want to try to defend after a 2-fact. If you try to defend like a Reaver with turrets, you're going to lose on Whiteout. 100% of the time from 6 o'clock, 100% you will lose. So I got a Wraith to try to deal with any drops that may come. And I was thinking about making a dropship as well, which I believe I ended up... did I make one? No, I think I did, actually. I believe I did. Yeah, there it is. Anyways, just get a little bit of scouting done with that. That's good. I can save some scans up. I did make some turrets as well, since I made them for my initial push. Thank you, Godsend4, for the sub. Much love. Ah, I didn't even know that he was taking the space, I don't think, right then. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so my plan was to drop and move out at the same time. Now I'm remembering what I was thinking during the game. So, yeah, I was like, okay, I'll take his attention and I'll force it over here, and then I'll move out. Because at this point, I'm on 4 facts, I'm adding a 5th fact. My army is actually really strong. Look at that. 3, 6, 8 tanks, 9 tanks, group of vultures, plus I'm doing a drop at the same time. So he won't have his whole army, like, sitting here. Just out in the nick of time. Okay, so that tells you something, by the way. You can get a little read off someone microing forward and picking off the SCV making the turret. A lot of times that'll mean something like DT. He's going to try to defend with DT or something like that. Anyways, it doesn't matter too much. I have a very strong army here. Not too much else to say here. I just kill him with the push. Alright, so 1-1. I was pretty happy that I was able to end up winning that game even after moving up the ramp. And again, I had a lot of adrenaline in my system, so I was not macroing very well. I wasn't placing my buildings well. I wasn't thinking completely straight. Alright, game 3. Nasura, thanks for the sub. Okay, so Sylphid. I didn't have, like, a complete plan of what I wanted to do here. I don't 2-fact on this map, like, ever. It's just kind of weak here. So I was just playing kind of normal, right? Bunker expand. My thought here a lot of the time, because Reaver's strong here, a lot of times people like to expand and then go Reaver. And I like to go 2-fact after Command Center against that. I think it's, like, because I can get there before the Reaver's out, and you can kind of bully them a little bit, and then force the Reaver to stay home for a little while, and then get your defense up at home. So it allows you to have, like, some map control and a little bit of early aggression, and delay the Reaver from actually hitting your base. So I like that in general on Sylphid. Excuse me. Yeah, so there's my second factory. So my plan here is to move out with just 3 tanks immediately. And I've learned some things because I've done this build a fair amount on Sylphid about the attack path that you should go towards the bottom right. I'll show you in a second here. Okay, so here I go. Pretty sharp timing here. And it looks like just 3 gate observer from him. Alright, so I regroup for a moment, because your stuff gets pulled out in a line. And then I move to the left. I think most people attack directly down straight through here. And there is a choke here, right? So that means that Protoss can't run into here to engage if you attack through this way. But if you attack through this way, you can't move in the formation that's best for 3 siege tanks through this. This is not wide enough. So it becomes not microable while you're moving through here. I've lost a lot of games where I've tried this. The formation you want is for your tanks to kind of be spread so they're shooting at the same time, but nothing's really behind them so that you can pull back whatever one gets targeted. So I think that actually catches him a little off guard here if I recall correctly. Yeah, see, he pulls his goons up because a lot of people do attack through here. See? And I think I mess up my micro here if I recall correctly. Because this, when I saw the goons there, I'm like, oh man, Toast is gonna win. I'm not, by the way. I'm gonna lose. Engage 30. Thanks for your sub, man. Asks, do you believe you're a stronger player now than you were in the past? Yes, absolutely. 100%. So anyways, oof. Oof. But yeah, you see the mines are kind of forcing his tanks back. It's very good for me. I messed this up, though. Yeah, this is where I mess up. Okay. Look at this formation. Okay? You see these units behind the siege tank? I would have to grab all of these and move back, but he's actually starting to come out as well. Now, if the siege tank was here, this marine was below the vultures, or the vulture, whatever. Basically, if the siege tank was back here, I could probably win this game. But the way that I'm forcing myself in here, because I'm like, oh, his goons are stuck. I gotta move. That's kind of what was going on in my head. But yeah. Now the siege tank is super stuck. See? I can't move him. I can't get him out of there. And now this one is just getting picked off. So yeah, this was a big blunder, because now that's 3 games in a row where the first push, if I had done it perfectly, I think it could have won the game. At least gotten a lot of damage done. Sometimes, what normally happens with a well-executed 2-factory after command is... That looks like a recall. Look at that. What normally happens is they barely end up holding, and then you follow up with like a 6-fact timing, and they just don't have enough. So maybe not win at that exact second, but you get my meaning. Okay, so from here I play pretty poorly, actually. I didn't have a very good feel of what was going on at this point. I didn't get any probe damage done, really. So see, I'm like going up for... It looks like I'm gearing up for another attack. Yeah, I'm going up to 5 facts, so if you're going up to 5 facts, that means you're going to attack again. Start slipping out vultures. Pretty decent harassment, I guess. Right? Not too bad. Not unhappy with that harass. The problem is here that I'm not actually building to anything that's that strong right now. Now, after you do a 2-fact, if you're not going starport as a follow-up, and I'm talking, okay, so in English we don't really have, no one talks about this stuff enough to have the right lingo, I think. So let me verify what I'm saying here. Let me clear this up. The 2-fact I'm talking about right now is command center into 2-fact, which is a pressure build. 2-factory before command center is a little bit all in from Terran. You have to do a certain amount of damage with it. Well, it matters. If they're on one base and you're on one base, you're fine. If they expand, you have to kill the expand, basically, with the 2-fact before command center, because you can't be down a whole base. Anyways, what I'm talking about here now is 2-factory after command center. There's 2 follow-ups that you can do. Well, there are other ones, but they aren't really popular. The best follow-ups overall, the strongest ones would be Starport plus Academy, or Armory plus, and you're always kind of getting the Academy, so I shouldn't say plus Academy, or Armory and a 3rd factory. I like Armory and 3rd factory because it kind of gives you a lot of power and you can take a 3rd base with it. Now, if I had done that, because I did go Armory and I did go 3rd factory, but then I added 2 other factories. I didn't need those 2 other factories. I should have just gone for a command center. 2 factories cost more than a command center. Because if I can get my 3rd base up, and I'm doing this quality vulture harassment, then I'm in a good spot. And that's good stuff. But here, this seems slightly directionless in hindsight. Jack Tear, 28 months of subbing. Thank you so much, man. You're the best. The greatest mod. So I'm just, you know, I'm just using vultures. Get some goons, whatever. Kind of hard to see the colors. Switch that up. See the movement a bit better. So I've kind of mined up some places that you might want to take and try and figure out what's going on. Okay, so this... Like, this is not... Here's the problem with this. Okay. I talk about this a lot in StarCraft 2. In StarCraft 2 casting. Where harassment's good. You can trade units for economy. That is very valid. It's strong. It can be very smart. Now, if you're going for a timing attack and you're trading army for economy, you're not actually impacting their army size at that moment, right? So the fact that I basically spent 2 groups of vultures almost, like I probably lost 14 vultures since after my 2-fact, right? That's a lot of vultures, okay? The fact that I spent all those killing some probes that wouldn't have really paid themselves off by now means that my army size is going to be very small. So this is nonsensical. If you're going to spend and lose vultures consistently doing harassment, you should be building your own economy. Because you want to exacerbate the economy, right? If you're leading an economy, you want to lead in the economy more. What I'm trying to do here, this is something that, like, if I'm casting GSL, I will really kind of be like, guys, this is wrong. What the programmer is doing here is wrong. Here, I spent army to kill his economy. And now here I am, trying to use my army against his army. That literally doesn't make sense. This does not make sense at all. This move out. Doesn't make sense. Now, if I have 12 more volts here, or 14 more volts, like I mentioned, I think that's probably about how many I've lost. That's, you know, that's a reasonable push. That's a reasonable push. But here, this is like... Goodbye, Artosis. Fuck out of this game. So yeah, that made no sense. I don't have a 3rd base. What do you want? The game is so over. Look at that, I started 3rd command center. Get out of here, you idiot Terran. So bad. So yeah, it's impossible to win from here. No one in the world could win from this position. recalls in my main and everything, whatever. So yeah, that was... I definitely had some big misplays in the Seoul qualifier. But yeah, then Nyokin, I don't have permission to look at his replays, so I'm not going to do that here on stream. But he beat his first round opponent and then lost to Prime, who is always on the tournament circuit out here. He plays all the qualifiers. Very, very strong Terran player. But he was winning game 2, which is I got to see part of. All right. I guess let's talk about the Gwangju qualifier some. All right. So, Gwangju. That was the second qualifier. Myself and Tasteless took the train down. It's in the southwest part of South Korea. Let's take a look at my bracket. Yep, here I was... here I am. So, first round... This is a Zerg player, and I beat him 2-0. And then I played another Zerg player in round 2, and went 2-1 against him. And then I played this Terran player who ended up winning our bracket, but lost to him 2-0. So I'll be going over those games. And let's look at Tasteless's bracket. I haven't gotten to see Tasteless's games yet, because we were playing at the same time, and then we had trains and buses to catch, so I haven't gotten to see them. Here's Tasteless's bracket. Round 1. I believe that this was a Protoss player he mentioned, if I recall correctly, and he went 2-0 in that first round, but then ended up losing here, 2-0. All right. So Gwangju obviously went a bit better for us. Yeah, let's check out the Tasteless reps. Gwangju. Okay. 1 second, guys. I gotta check out what these are. So Kim Young-ju is his first opponent. That's not it. Kim Young-ju. Oh, okay, here we go. So this is Tasteless game 1 from there. No, Tasteless's hands are better now. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't get to see these yet, but this right here is the opponent of Tasteless, and this down here is Tasteless. So let's see how this goes. And Tasteless getting cheesed. Now the worker count is a new addition to replays only. So it looks like a 9-9 gate. Oh, Tasteless Scout in center. What's up? Does he cancel his gas? Yes. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Well, that looks like big advantage, Tasteless. Jesus. He's up probes. His gateways are in his main. They're both just going to sit there and make zealots. Looks like a very easy hold here. Shield battery. This guy is hardcore. Well, that's funny. Tasteless gets a mana piling up during all this. Excuse me. Yeah, you are not breaking out of this. Robo! He's a mad lad, folks. Look at this. Taste is just stomping this nerd. Before Zealot drop, I love it. See how this one's going. Alright. Tasteless takes game number 1. That guy was so cheesy. I can't wait to see these next 2 games. Alright, so this will be the next one. Alright, so this is Tasteless's opponent, and this is Tasteless up here. Come on, 9-9 gate. No? Damn. Alright, so hold on. This is a 1-gate expansion from Tasteless's opponent. So he's playing a bit greedy. Not completely safe, but in this situation, definitely safe. Yeah, look at that. He starts his Nexus after this one's done. So, definitely had a bit of a disadvantage there, but going Reaver. He's going 2-gate obs. Yeah, I like the 3rd gate. I think that's important. Chasing out the Observer. Ah, he's getting shuttle speed, okay. I think that's probably good for the map. It's really good against Terran, so it's probably good against Protoss too. Excuse me. Where's his shuttle at? There it is. Kind of a weird 3rd from his opponent. Oh, I forgot our wallet in here. Okay. Okay, so let's take stock of where this game is at. So Tasteless is actually a little bit ahead on probes, which means he's a little bit behind on army. He's got speed shuttle, 2 reavers. This is just Gateway Man that he's against. Going up to 7 gates. Got Zealots. Does he have legs? He must have legs, right? If you're going for the Archons and Zealots this early. Yeah, Tasteless army is not big enough right now for that. Yeah, he needs his Reavers at home for that, for sure. Oh, Jesus. Gateway Man strikes again. No, well played that game. Alright, it's Sylphid. Game 3. Tasteless versus Protoss guy. This is the opponent. Here's Tasteless, our hero. Pylon blocks. Oh, what is this cheeky shit? Tasteless going DTs. Alright, alright. Oh, this guy was a gateway man before. Oh, hold the phone, hold the phone. Oh, okay, never mind. He pulled the probes to help defend. Yeah, I know this build. Okay, so Tasteless did quick range goons and put the pressure on while he's going DTs. The idea behind this, I believe, is that you're just putting pressure on and keeping them busy and making them make units. And then you just run into DT, because the last thing you're doing is trying to get an observer in a situation like this. Oh, he doesn't even need the DTs! GHG. Alright. Tasteless wins round 1. No guy in the chat, I haven't seen him. That's cool though. Diggity. Thank you, buddy. 5 months of subs. Phoenix Hope, 25 months. Thank you for your subscription. Alright. Tasteless' second round, he ends up losing 0-2. I think he said it was a Zerg player? Yeah, he said it was a Zerg player. Might have been someone good. Let me check real quick. Bum some. Gwangju. Oh, it was ForceName. So Tasteless plays ForceName after that round. Very strong player. Okay. Wolf. StarCraft and Artosis forever. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for your sub. Hope you're well. Oh, wait, no, because I never leave my house except to play BroodWar tournaments. Sorry about that. Alright. So, Tasteless against ForceName. Let's see what it looks like when Tasteless is playing one of the best amateurs. Alright, here's Nick, Pink Protoss. Here's ForceName. Forward gate. Forces him to expand somewhere he doesn't want to. Alright, lost his probe a little bit early, but he has his Zealot. Damn. I don't know, guys. It's early game PvZ. I'm waiting for something to happen just like you are. So no cheese here. Going to 4 hatch before layer. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? 3 hatch layer is a little bit more common. 5 hatch before layer. What? Oh, jeez. 5 hat Hydra. Yeah, 5 hat Hydra, no layer. Damn. Yeah, I don't think this is going to go well, guys in the chat. Alright, alright. Good first hold. A lot more Hydras are being made, though. Oh, run, Tasteless. Alright, he's gonna have Psystorm done. Nice. He's got 2 Storm Boys. 3 Storm Boys. 4 Storm Boys. Alright. Oh, good storm. Nice. Oh, it looks like maybe a DT was up here. Okay, not bad. Oh damn, half his army fighting. Damn, good storm. Doesn't matter though. Excuse me. Well, rough game there. That's one of the best amateurs. Check out what game 2 looked like. I already know what it's going to look like, though. Yeah. So, let's see here. Alright, Whiteout. Tasteless versus ForceName, game 2. Alright, so, basically, Tasteless had Whiteout vetoed on the ladder. I actually did too. But he had it vetoed on the ladder until like a few days ago, where I'm like, oh, Whiteout is one of the maps. So he didn't have time to prep Whiteout all the way. And figure out all the wall-ins and the normal way to play. So he was like, I'm just going to 9-9 gate it. So that was his plan against Zerg on this map. You don't have a build for the map, you may as well, right? just ran the Lings around. He forced to cancel. There's a Sunken on the way. Well, that's annoying. Oh, nice micro. Alright. Excuse me. This actually doesn't look that bad, right? Spire on the way. It's like Zerg is on one base. Guess Tasteless doesn't have gas yet, but I mean, he's got the contain. There's almost nothing on the map for our Zerg. It's a lot of Lings. So I saw him practicing this build a little bit on the ladder beforehand. He was talking about how you just have to get your Corsairs out immediately because they go Spire. Oh, look at that. He skipped. Oh, I like that. That's smart. ForceName skipped clearing the Zealots to see if he could catch him before cannons were done. Couldn't, though. Four cannons. Nice. That is a lot of Lings. My god. Alright, here we go. This is so funny. Oh my god, he's going 3 hatch Hydra behind it. How many drones is he going up to? Damn. It's like 18 drones on minerals. Good micro. It's funny they're on the same worker count. I guess he doesn't know that there's a Hydralisk Den. Maybe that's how he ends up losing this. Some Verdiox 8. Thank you for your sub. Alright, so... Oh, okay. So he's waited for +1. He's got +1 on Corsairs and +1 on Zealots. And... Okay, makes sense. Oh my god. He just lost every Corsair in 2 seconds. Well, that's how he lost, right there. Lost all the Corsairs. Because the Zealots were easily going to kill the remaining 2 Hydras and Ling. Damn. Not bad, though. I mean, as far as cheese goes, he made it a real game against ForceName, who's like, I don't know what MMR is, probably like 2600 or something. Known who that guy is forever. Alright, so that was Tasteless' run. Did a great job, I would say. It's the first time he's played a tournament in 10 years. It's been 10 years since he played competitively. So yes, let's jump over to the bracket just to look at that again. So this was Tasteless' bracket. Bishop ends up beating ForceName in the next round. Obviously, Bishop is one of the best amateur Terran players. He's really, really good. Okay, now we go to my bracket. So, here we are. Geico. Oh, he beat Pitbull on the way. Damn. He's the guy that ends up eliminating me. Yeah, we'll look at my round one first. The Zerg player here in round one, he was higher MMR than me, but it wasn't super high MMR. It wasn't like 2400 when I checked the ID that he was on. So I don't know like exactly how good, but he's, you know, he's a good player. This is the series. This first series I'm about to show is the one where I felt like I played the best throughout the qualifiers so far. I kind of played crappy in the Seoul one, I think, even though I'd had opportunities there to do well. And then in Gwangju, I felt like I played... You guys are going to like Series 2, my quarterfinals match, but this first one I thought I played much better overall. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, so my plan against Zerg was to do 2 barracks play, you know, just expansion into 2 racks, get into vessels and all that, just pretty standard stuff. I just wanted to play my normal game. If I got Whiteout at 6 o'clock, I was 100% going to 1 base, no matter what, because you cannot hold with bio any other way. And even then, I don't know that you can hold with bio against someone good. Yeah, that was my only other plan. Alright, so I scout. Positionally, this isn't too bad for me. I scout that he's going 3 hatch play. So 3 hatch is actually good against 2 racks. The better play would be a 5 racks plus 1 push from Terran to play against that, but I still like to play the 2 racks play because if they do something a little bit more cheeky, for instance, let's say they go Lurker with Carapace upgrade into Ultra or something, then the 2 racks is better against that. If they're going to go regular Mutiling into like Lurker, that's much better against the 2 racks from 3 hatch replay. Because you can't be on the map, basically. The slower +1 attack and the lack of the 5th barracks give the Zerg map control until you basically... until you get Irradiate or so. That's my opinion on that. Morged. Thanks for the sub. Okay, so anyways. When I see 3 hatch play, I just kind of do exactly the same thing. I will always get into my medics and then immediately walk to their natural if it's close positions. Because the travel distance, this is a very important thing to know, is a lot of positional balance and stuff has to do with travel distances between bases. So the travel distance between like right here and right here, that amount of time that it takes for Marines to walk that far is less than the amount of time it takes to make a creep colony and then a sunken colony out of that creep colony. So that's a really important aspect. Whereas the walking time from here to here, you can make the creep colony and get the sunken colony up. So, like for instance, if he is top left, there is no chance, realistically, that I can do damage with any push. If he is here or here, there is the chance that I can do damage. And anyone who watches my stream a lot will see that a fair amount of the time I'll walk across and they'll have to pull like their drones, and I'll get some drones. Alright. So pretty standard normal stuff. He's going for his Spire. He's got just a small group of Lings here. So I immediately walk. The important aspect of this is to not fight the Lings. See, I even lose a Marine. That's fine. Because if you're turning around and chasing Lings, they get the Sunkens up in time. But notice, right? It's like halfway done. So you have to pull the drones here, or you just straight die. What I normally do here is target the drones and then the Sunkens again. Realistically, I should have sent my medics out immediately at that point, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I got a lot of drones there. Juno C, thanks for the sub. But yeah, that was good damage. And at this point, all I'm thinking about is, okay, let's hit the rest of my build. My factory's on time. I just need to make sure I don't die. Because I have an advantage here. Excuse me. I was pretty surprised he did that move. But the SCV drill saved it easily. So yeah, right now, one thing that I've really learned about playing against 3-hatch play, because they can produce so much now, in this game it's a little bit different, because I killed a bunch of drones, so he can't have as many units, or he can't have many drones. So he's either more all-in by making a lot of units, which is what I err towards, because that's how you can die, or he doesn't have enough units to really prevent you from going on the map. In this game, I played as if he was making units, and I think I was mostly right on that. You see, he has refilled some of his drones, but 19 is not. That is not a great economy. So here I'm staying in my base with my units until I get vessels. That's a very important thing with this build. This is, I believe, a second eBay. No, that's my science facility. Okay, never mind. You see, this is this position, and to a lesser extent this position, but especially this position. So, Fighting Spirit, again, it's like an older map. It's not really well made. It was made before people really understood what the game would be like. This position, the main base, is very hard to stop Mutilous Harassment. You see this area that he's abusing? There's a few reasons for that. The main one is the comstat, because the comstat is on this side. You have no actual circulation here, so it's hard to get Marines down here at all. It's very, very difficult. This is why I sometimes build a lot of depots up here, is because you need more wide open area to actually get down here to defend. So this is the hardest place on the map to defend main-wise from mutas. Whereas, you know, if you're on this side, right, your comstat's over here, you have plenty of circulation. You can easily run around with your Marines. And then as far as naturals go, this one is the worst one. You can only fit 2 turrets in this area. And then if you want a third, it's here, and it's easy to pick off. So it's very hard to defend SCVs at the natural here. It's very hard to defend SCVs in the main here. So you see, he's getting some reasonable damage. I mean, he's picking off some workers. Not as much as I did yet, but... think my gas and my natural's a little bit late here, but that's okay. Again, I'm just trying to defend because... excuse me. I have a little bit of a cold today. I think I got a bit of a sinus infection. So, it's important to realize how this game is different from, like, a more standard game you might see from these two build orders. Because don't forget, I gave an army to kill economy earlier on. That's something that I think is a very useful way to think about StarCraft. When I did my initial push with my Marines and Medics, I killed a bunch of drones with it, right? But I ended up losing the army there. So it makes it into this kind of funny game where what we're actually seeing looks more like 2-hatch against me, because I have less army later on, even though the mutas come later. I don't know any other way to really explain what's in my head here, but like the mutas come later on 3-hatch because your layer is later, right? And but I lost army, so I don't have enough to just force my way across the map, and he continually picks off army, so it kind of makes it look like a 2-hatch game. I would say that that benefits Terran for sure, though, a game in this type of situation. But he is actually, he's doing a really good job at this point. I'm like, oh my god, am I going to screw this up? Luckily, I had enough medics that they kept some of the Marines alive. So this was his last-ditch effort here. The radiate's just wrecked. No GG. Oops. We'll go to game 2 against that guy. Someone asked, why don't I play StarCraft 2? I do play StarCraft 2. I just play a lot of StarCraft 1 right now. There's, oh, let me slow this up a little bit. There's a lot of StarCraft 1 tournaments in Korea. And I like to play StarCraft 1. It's my favorite game to play. And yeah, there's a lot of tournaments, so it's like kind of fun to stay competitive. Thank you for asking. Okay, so Whiteout. Okay, so I'm scouting here. I'm planning on just playing a regular game. When I get over here, there's no hatchery. Go second racks. Actually, that was a 13 second rack. So actually, I decided that before I hit the scout to make a second racks. And it was actually the right call, because he actually went the gas and pool first. So this is a quick 2-hatch play. I forget why I decided to do this. I think it was based on how good his Mutalisk Micro was in the first game. Because I think the first game, I felt his Mutalisk Micro was strong enough that in a regular game on Whiteout, I might not be able to hold. Mutalisk Craftsman's really good on this map. So I think I decided before the game started, maybe, to go for this. I can tell because if they go pool first, sometimes I go 2-hatch. I mean, 2 racks before Command Center, but then my second racks will be on 14 or 15, and not on 13. This was on 13, so I can see that I decided beforehand. Now, I think he also looked at the first game and said, oh, you know what? If I hadn't taken that drone damage, I think I could have killed him. Because I think his Mutalisk Micro was a little bit above my Marine Micro. I think he showed that in that game. So, what the build order that we see here, this is just kind of for Mutalisk Micro. Because you're getting the gas and pool before you get the hatchery. So generally you'll end up getting your layer on like 1240, 1245, something like that. So it's like, right, so basically mutas will be in my base before they would otherwise, right? Like, they'll be in my base a good 20 seconds quicker. It's just, it's more aggressive. So yeah, look at this layer timing. Yeah, 240 layer. But builds like that, this is actually, I think that one base play is good against this. I think it's all right. Because now if they go hatch first, it's a little bit different. Your economy's already tighter with this because you've been mining gas for longer. You used drones earlier for more buildings, and your additional hatchery is later. So your economy is not as good with this as Zerg, even though you're going to be able to maybe do more damage with your Mutalisks. So just applying pressure with something like this can be very, very strong. It also kind of negates any speedlings. A lot of times you get speed upgrade with a build like this. I think he did not this game. It looks like he just wants to get more mutas. It's kind of a stylistic thing whether or not you want to do that. So I'm getting my stim. Because of what I am playing against, right? Okay, so I scouted the timing of his lair, so I know that I need to get my eBay right around 4:30. I got it maybe even a little bit early. I'm also making fire bats. Because a lot of times, people who play like this also make a lot of speedlings. And you see that I've forced 3 Sunkens out of him. So that's, like, I've already done damage with this in a certain way. So yeah, I forced all those buildings. That costs a lot of money. Each of these is a drone, plus 125 minerals. So his economy is really not looking hot right now. He's trying to make mutas. This is a beautiful thing, because build orders are so tight and so good at this point. Look at his minerals to gas, right? Okay, how many Sunkens did we force here? Right? So this is like 375 minerals. He could have made 3 more mutas easily, right? But he can't. Like, they're going to come out a little bit later because I forced the Sunkens out of it. Pressure is a magical thing in StarCraft, especially against Zerg. Just reverberates throughout the entire game. Someone's asking, don't I play Zerg in StarCraft 2? I did at the beginning, and then I switched to Protoss. Alright, so let's watch his Mutalisk harassment this game. Here I'm just trying to pick off any mutas I can the entire time. Oh, by the way, because he made those Sunkens, I know that he's not going to be speedling heavy. Excuse me. So I sent fire bats to his most natural 3rd expansions. I don't need them anymore. So I'm like, oh, okay, you have all those Sunkens. You're not going to go Sunkens and Lings and mutas. You're not going to do that in this situation, right? Like, maybe we'll see Lings later on, but not needing these and being able to scout for that, because don't forget, you're on 1 base, so you only have 1 scanner. So you have to be very careful how you use that. Star-tailed Bob, thank you for the sub. Also, Pofu the Panda, thanks for the sub. So yeah, I'm making a few mistakes. You really need to mirror him. Notice how he's leaving vision. He's trying to leave vision of where I'm at and then come in at random locations. This is a really important aspect of Mutalisk harassment. Because if the Marines aren't there, the mutas can beat anything. But even 1 turret with Marines is super strong. So at this point, because I see that he's leaving my vision so much, I actually send the factory forward That doesn't always work out. You'll see in a moment why. It's a little thing called glaives. Watch. See? It's putting damage on me now, just by attacking the factory. So I'm like, no, I'm not playing that game. We'll just keep running around. Because there's a good chance you're still going to need that factory later, too. You don't want to just let it die. I'm doing a pretty good job this game on micro, though, I would say. Right there was a little bit off. You can see it's really kind of a dogfight. It's like as soon as anything's out of position, he's picking it off. So at this point, I'm up to 3 racks. I'm making sure to get upgrades, by the way. Yeah, my +1's about to finish. If you're on one base playing against Zerg, you never get +2. You always go for +1 armor afterwards. +2 weapons is too much gas. Oh wow, that hive is actually quicker than I thought it was. Yeah, I'm getting good kills there. So I scanned here, because I'm trying to figure out, because I'm like, okay, by now he has to have a 3rd started, because the Mutalisks aren't doing enough damage. If he was picking off a bit more, then he could think about maybe making Lings to bring in with them. But in this situation, he needs more bases. Of course, I only have the 1 scanner, so it's very hard to find. So see, I've used up more scans at this point. I think I scanned here and here. Oh, I think I rescanned here maybe, because I lost my fire bat that was there. This guy's still there. So now I'm like, okay, well maybe it's here. Ah, yeah. Okay, so he sent Lings up to my main. I decided to turn around. Like, I started bringing my army down here. But then the Lings entered my main base, and I was like, oh, he might have more on the way. Let me go regroup. But I sent 1 Marine off, which you should always do. It's always worth it for the scout. And saw this hatch, so I shall turn around here momentarily. Oh yeah, and the Guardian's coming as well. Obviously that needs to be dealt with. So, killing that base, at that point I was thinking very likely that I'm going to be able to win this game. Much less adrenaline on this day, by the way. I kind of dealt with that. So he's switching into Lurker Defiler, makes sense. A little bit sloppy by me there. Of course, he's still harassing the Guardians. Kind of the main thing I need to do here is keep my vessels alive and zone out the Dark Swarms from my base. The only real way for him to win here is to get a Dark Swarm down about here. That's like what he's kind of looking to do. So I'm trying to focus on not allowing that. Obviously, you want to stop bases and stuff as well. Here, I just walked around the army so that reinforcements couldn't come. Defilers become a lot weaker if you can't reinforce, because then what do they eat for energy? The Lings die pretty quickly. So he's trying to make his way up there. Decides better of it. Smart move. At this point, I know I have to stop this base. So if he gets this, he can actually make a game out of it. Not too hard to break it. And notice I'm just kind of leaving some forward groups around. Because I can trade somewhat inefficiently at this point and win. Oops. Irradiate is such a great way to just lean on people. Yeah, and that's about it. Alright. So that was my first round in Gwangju. I was pretty happy with how I played in that series. Alright, round 2. This is another Zerg player. He introduced himself as a Cal clan member. He asked if I knew Scan, because Scan is in Cal. Just mention that. So, oh, that's cool. Okay. So I assumed him to be really strong, but I think he was weaker than my first round opponent. But strategically, he played in a way that made it a very hard series for me. There's certain things that I'm not strong against. I'm much stronger against very standard Zerg play, whereas you'll see he plays very weirdly. So for instance here, obviously we see the quick speed. So I'm like, screw this, I am not fucking around, I'm getting a bunker, I'm going one base. There's nothing more embarrassing than losing to 9 pools speed in a tournament. Spend that 100 minerals every time. Yeah, it doesn't really get anything done there. Killed 1 SCV, 2-3 Marines. Definitely not worth. A little bit more there. Oh, yes. Okay, so at this point I was like, what? Because I'm scouting, right? And there's no lair. And I know he doesn't have another hatchery somewhere, based on what he's built so far. So it's like 3 hatches, but no lair. So I was thinking, oh, okay, do you know what? This is probably going to be a mass of lings, because when you go 1 base Marine Medic, you only have 2 Raxes for a very long time. So if you actually lose that army, you generally end up losing the game. So my thought was, okay, maybe he's going to just massling me, possibly burrow. So I make a lot of fire bats this game. Excuse me. And I'm just sweeping my main for any lings that might be left over. None there, okay. Look at this. 6 fire bats in a row. That's how sure I was that this must be. Hydra did not come into my mind at all. But I was pretty sure that this would be something like Burrow. And Burrow can kill Marines, but once you get a critical mass of fire bats, the lings pop out and then they all die in a millisecond. So 4 fire bats with my army, 2 at my ramp. I'm like, okay, I'm not dying to lings, that's for sure. And you can see that he sees this coming and is like, oh god, that's you're not stopping that with lings. So he actually canceled that hatch to throw up more sunks immediately. And, I mean, the hatch would have died anyways because it was in such a funny position. It was kind of like an anti-vulture hatch. Maybe he thought I was going to go into factory or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, 5 sunks. Can't break it. Change it. Wow, these colors are terrible. Those are my only choices? Crazy. Anyways, he's playing really safe here. This is for anti-drop. Not that you see that basically ever, but it's 1 base. It's already a freaking really weird game. So at this point, I'm just trying to be like, okay, do you have bases? Because if you're only on 2 base, I'm never going to be afraid of you, right? So I have Marine here. Here. Kind of just trying to check out everything. I've scouted there and there already. Pretty done losing that type of thing. Now, obviously, the thing I don't think of is the thing that he's doing, which is upgrading drops. So he takes this location, and I'm like, okay, okay, that's kind of weird, but okay. Yeah. So I caught that out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, huh, okay, that's... I should be able to stop that pretty easily. Where is the other one? He's going to load up another one. I don't know where it is. See, my Firebat sees it again. I have a Marine over here to spot it coming in. I'm bringing Marines home. Force a cancel on this third. This is so annoying. Now this is the one that gets me. See, these 4, I'm like, yeah, I pulled my SCVs away. They're all going to my main base. And of course I have this little hole right there that they just wiggle right into. Excuse me. And now I'm not mining for a very long time. I am so bad at cleaning this up. Alright, finally that's clear. These ones still are not. Oh yeah, excuse me. Oh. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. So I'm trying to pay attention to a lot of things, because I know he has a force out here as well. So I'm kind of microing this, which is slowing me from clearing this. Because you need, like, both siege tanks and detection to clear this. Look at this, I have SCVs absolutely everywhere. Look at this. Just everything's blocked. My tanks can't get down the ramp. This sloppy stuff I have such a hard time with. That was minutes of not mining. This is definitely something I have to work on. So at this point he's just focusing on upgrades. He's still 2 base though, so I'm still like, yeah, I got this. By the way, I don't got this. So I'm trying to do some anti-drop. I've made a wall at this point. I have 3 turrets. Figure if it's good enough for an arbiter, it's good enough for this. Bunker comes up, leave a siege tank in here. Yeah, so he has 2 1-lings right now. Or 1 2-lings, whatever. So this is something I've talked about before some. Because people really have a lot of questions about siege tanks in TVZ. So siege tanks are really good before defilers, and then really bad, and then if you supermass them late game, they're really good. Like if you max out on siege tanks, it's really strong. But in this type of situation, they do very, very little. Like look at that. You can't dodge anything. They're plagued now. Okay, he just throws down the swarm. I'm just sitting there. 6 siege shanks doing nothing. I'm an idiot. I lose them. But they aren't doing anything anyways. So I kill that base. That's really important. Oh, I screwed this up. I could have been there before. So yeah, I'm like still sitting here making tanks some. I decided since I have 2 factories, because he was going Hydra Lurker for a little bit, that I may as well do vultures. But yeah, this is what a weird situation. Look at the upgrades right now. I just started +2 attack. Look at this. He's got +3 carapace on the way. You're not going to kill anything. The drones can almost kill your marines at that point. This was kind of my last-ditch effort here. This had to work if I was going to have any chance to win the game. But again, when defilers are out, the siege shanks have a hard time. That... Oh. That right there. I don't know how this happened. Okay, watch. That is the most insane lurker volley I've ever seen. What was that? Oh my god. I could not believe. So that's where I kind of screwed up this attack. The game is already in a pretty hard position just based on upgrades. He just kind of nailed his upgrades. I messed up many, many things. Yeah, now that he has 5 armor ultras. Against 5 armor, you have to have +3 attack. Easy abundance supply at this point. Yeah, and I'm dead. Alright, so I was a bit frustrated after that game. I did GG, by the way, I just quit out before. Yeah, I don't play very well against that style. So, second map, Whiteout. Where is it? Gwangju, round 2, game 2. No, I don't play other races. I mean, everyone's a Protoss player and their main race. Except Protoss players are just Protoss players. Okay, so, like I mentioned before, for Whiteout, with Bioplay, it is impossible to hold this position while expanding, so I had decided if I got 6 o'clock against Zerg, I would be going 1 base no matter what. So you'll see I'll make a 13 racks probably. Even quicker, damn, 12 racks. So yeah, I just, that's all there is to it. Map is not good for playing bio from this position. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So this is really, really important. This is something I've been very careful about lately. Okay, I have to actually go back to... Let's go back to 240. Yeah. Okay. Let me show you guys. Okay, so here comes my SCV. Okay, I get in. No gas. We're at 3 minutes. No gas. That means 3 hatch, no matter what. Unless it was pool first. But if it's hatch first, and it's 3 minutes and there's no gas, there is a third hatchery. That's all you need to know. Okay? So, I'm like, alright, let's look, let's check. Sometimes they put it in the natural. It's kind of rare, but it happens. I look down, nothing. Oops, lost that. Whatever, it's fine. I know what's going on. This is the hero SCV. Now, here is an important thing when you're looking for a hidden hatchery. Okay? Don't let the hatchery see your SCV. See how carefully I'm microing it as I approach expansions? There you go. I saw it and I turned around before I got within hatch vision. That's actually really important. Because they have to play differently if they think that you see it, right? They might do things like immediately sunk. They might do things like massling. But if I can back out, because it's such a random spot. That's a fucking LZ gamer base right there. This is very easy to kill if you know it's there. I guess all those stupid ladder games I lost helped me. So my academy's coming up. Good healthy marine count. My SCV, I'm trying to put somewhere somewhat inconspicuous. I put it here. Maybe not exactly the best place. But I didn't want it to be around here just in case he had anything go by. Also, my idea was that as I sent my Marines out, I would send the SCV back to block any building sunken colonies. That was the idea, at least. I'm a try-hard at tournaments, guys. Here comes my Bioforce. My SCV, go, go, go. I didn't time it out quite right because I haven't done this before. Oh no, I guess I did a little bit. See if there's a sunken building or a drone there, I would go block any possible sunken. And then another important thing is I sent the SCV away immediately. I did not need it to help me kill the hatchery. So I'm just like, okay, you go scout other things now. So that was a really important moment. Okay. Right here. This is the other important moment. I scan. The layer's done. I see only an evolution chamber. I believe I'll scan the natural in a second. When I get the energy. Yep. Okay. So I already know... Like, for instance, I know that there is not another hatchery on the map. You only have a certain amount of money. Like, you know, you can tell what's going on to a certain degree. So now I've seen everything that he's doing. And the only things I've seen is the finished layer and the +1 carapace and 4 sunks. Why would you have 4 sunks here? It's because you're going to rush to Ultra. 100%. There's not even a question that he's going to rush to Ultra. He really focused on carapace upgrades in Game 1 as well, so that he could end with Ultra. So that probably is the way that he likes to end. So there you go. That's... So from here, I created a new plan that I've never done before. Because I was making... Right? I'm like, well, I should go up to Vessel, right? Because there might be Muta. I should maybe get siege tanks in case there's lurkers. There's none of that crap. So I do not even go Vessel. I already have the starport on the way. But you know what's good in a situation like this when they have no anti-air? A Wraith. I thought about making it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get attack upgrades and siege tanks. So there's siege mode on the way. I'm like, alright, he definitely can't stop this army right now with 2 fire bats in it. As long as I surround my siege tank so that Lings can't attack it. That's another important thing. If your siege tank is here and your army is here, you'll lose it to Lings. So he's making more. He knows what's happening. Let's watch. See this? This is important. See this? One Marine right there. 3 Marines and a fire bat right in front of it. This shit is important. If these are standing back, there is a possibility he can snipe it. You lose your siege tanks on a push like this, you lose the game. So at this point, is he's making more sunks. I'm like, oh, okay, he's trying to slow me down. I can sacrifice a couple Marines to kill these front ones, make sure my tank is working on the ones that are important. Another tank coming, I make sure that some bioforces with it, just in case there's Lings out on the map. I don't want to lose that tank. The tanks are really everything. Oh yeah, and I have the Wraith coming now, which I thought was a nice add. Just give him another headache. Pretty straightforward from here. So eventually, you don't want to actually kill every sunk with the tanks. You want to just get to a position where you overwhelm everything. Dude, I've lost to this build before. For the guys in the chat. It is a garbage build, in my opinion, but I've lost to it before. So what happens is they get just enough to have map control for a bit, and they take 2 bases at the exact same time and drone them up real quick. And then it's like chaos. Excuse me. Anyways, I was probably being even too passive here, but I'm like, I'll just make bunkers. There's no way to lose. Alright. If I'm gonna use Cycle. Thank you so much. Cheers, man. It's official. You're a sub. Okay, this next game is gonna be your guys' favorite game. This next game is fucking madness. A once-in-a-lifetime game. It is so weird. These were not casted, no. Round 2, game 3. Here we go. Trevek, thanks for your sub. This game is going to melt your brains. Okay? This is ACS replays. This is round 2, the round of 8, I guess, of the Gwangju qualifier against Zerg. Game 3. Sva3, thanks for the sub. Yeah, this game is just fucking madness. Oh, yeah. Okay, so there were some mind games going on at this point, right? So, first game he did like the drop style into ultras, okay? And I had a hard time with that. I lost that. Game 2, he was trying to be a little bit more cheeky and go for like, you know, carapace, quick ultra type thing. He tried to sneak a third. It didn't quite work. It's a build that I actually lose to sometimes. But I was pretty on top of things. Now, this game, I think I decided going in, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 1 base to open, and then take a command center quickly. Because I thought he would probably revert to the game one strategy a little bit more quickly, and he had gone pull first both games. So with those two things in mind, I'm pretty sure this is how it went down in my head, is I was like planning to do this and then just focus on getting attack upgrades. That was like my number one thing. I was like, I will get attack upgrades because he likes ultras so much. Okay, so he goes hatch first. I scout it. I'm like, okay, we're going to expand. Not super fast, but we're going to expand. There's the third hatch. See, I'm looking for this because he tried to hide a hatch in the last game. I think he realized, oh, it's probably not going to work against this guy. That being said, I send out second SCV because just the styles he's shown so far, he can't be trusted. Can't be trusted, guys. Just kind of scouting all over the place. Ah, yes. So this is a pretty small move out, but it forces some sunks. I think he overdid it. He should have only made 3. And I'm scouting, of course, for any bases. I've scouted every gas expansion except for this one. And there's my command. And now I scout this one, because I am not losing that crap anymore. Oh yeah, notice that I have my +1 started before my factory. Like I said, this game I was just going to focus heavily on getting attack upgrades. He does not have his Evo yet, so I will be ahead. Excuse me. So he is going for that drop style once again here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I scanned both locations. I think I saw the lurkers. Or did I? No. I think I didn't see the lurkers, but I'm like, oh, I think it's lurker. And of course, the scan here, a scan radius is exactly a hatchery and the creep around it. But because there's 2 hatcheries, he could have put a spire here or anything here. And I can't see it with one scan, right? So you have to decide, like, did he put something here or did he put something over here? Probably I should have scanned this hatchery realistically. Okay, so hold on a second here. You're going to see something that's really sad. So at this point, I'm starting to think in a moment here that there's going to be drops. Okay? Hold on. You see this SCV? He's going to build a turret over here. Kind of for spotting. See any drops coming in. And this SCV is being sent to build a turret here. Because I don't have any buildings that I can float right now. Because I'm using everything. Right? I'm focusing heavily on upgrades. Obviously, I need vessels and tanks. Obviously, I need marines. So, if you can see it coming, like over here, that's really going to help you. So, you see that SCV is going there. I'm like, yeah, I better prepare for drops. And then, of course, this drop comes in. Now, at this point, I'm like, well, this is a sad way to be eliminated. But was I eliminated? Of course, I know that there should be a second drop coming, so I send a group of Marines into my natural to try to block it. He turns it around. The other group I send to protect the siege tanks. Look how many depots I end up losing. My academy just died. Of 62. All right, 78 of 62. That's a bit painful. So I was not feeling too good after that, because I have a hard time rebuilding depots. I have a hard time getting my SCVs back mining. Look at this saturation; it's terrible. 8 SCVs here, a million billion here. A bit too quick on that follow-up. He's taking more bases. You guys are going to love this game, though. We're just getting started. Look at this. 11 minutes in. It's a long game. So he already has the hive. Filer mound. One thing I'm doing well here is my upgrades, by the way. +2 is already done for me. He's got +1. And +2 halfway done, so I'm definitely ahead on upgrades, which is really important. God, I hate drops. So again, I'm sitting here with tanks in a situation where the tanks are probably not that useful. I also skipped a radiate for a very long time, but I had it here, obviously. We already saw some radiate. I'm so bad. Look at this. Oh. I am trying to continually scout some of these other bases. Don't worry, it's going to get exciting in a minute. It's going to get crazy. Well, that was my stylish move right there. Hold on, let me go back. That was too cool. Alright. So I've just been kind of roaming with this group, right? I killed the hatch here. It's like, alright, let's keep this going. Since I picked off the lurkers, there's only a couple lings under here. What, like one ling? Darkswarm protects Marines from Sunkens, so every now and then you get a situation like this. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I can kill this stuff. Until the lings get there and then you run away, but I felt pretty cool doing that. And then I lost everything, so that's cool too. Alright, so at this point of the game I was kind of thinking about how I needed to keep groups out on the map because he has defilers. So anytime a defiler shows up in your natural and throws a Darkstorm down and lurkers get there, you're basically going to lose that game like 95% of the time. So it's like, it's one of the ultimate kill moves that Zerg gets, where it's like, it can just kill you out of nowhere. You don't have the radiates to clean up immediately, it's like, oh, yeah, everything's off the tracks now. So I'm trying to keep forward groups, I'm trying to poke and irradiate everything. I think he mis-synced that slightly. The Scourge were a little bit further away than he wanted, because he spent a lot of lings trying to take shots. It's not crazy yet, guys. It'll get crazy, I promise. I already have my 3-2, by the way, so the upgrade thing really helped. I definitely would have lost this game if I hadn't done that. So at this point, okay, so when Ultras start to come out, you have to move around in a death ball a little bit more. You can't have small groups going around because... Oh my god, I can't believe he had this right now. I'm just finding this out. I thought he took this at the very end of the game. This thing mined for 1,000 years. Oh. Anyways, when Ultras are out, you have to start thinking about moving around in a death ball a bit more. Because you need your DPS to go really high due to the armor. I'm having a little bit of a hard time spending my money right now. Kind of like, this is something I've noticed in my own play as well. I actually have a note of it on my wall. Alright, so normally, now this is a kind of bizarre game because of the drops and how aggressive we've both kind of been. But in normal TVZs, normally around 17-ish minutes, my macro falls off, because that's when Plague is coming out all the time. And it's really micro-intensive, trying to dodge Plagues, trying to fix your units so the Plagues don't hurt as much, like move commands on the medics, run away from stuff. So this is definitely an issue that I have, where when Plague comes out, my money starts to skyrocket. So... yeah, just I want to mention that, considering I have a ton of money in the bank, and I'm sure people are looking at that. I'm very aware of that hole in my play. This game was just so crazy that it doesn't really get fixed in this game. I should have wondered where these were coming from. Right, because I have a Marine up here. I should have wondered. Because that's what he's doing. That's how he keeps attacking that base, is up here. Guys, I don't scout this. This is the last thing in the game, is this base. It's just such a weird base, because it's like mineral only 2, which is like not that useful for Zerg. Like late game, I guess you can get 3/3 cracklings off of it, but, you know, it's got that Nidus there. It's good stuff. Okay, so at this point I'm thinking, okay, I have a bunch of money. There's Ultras out. Let's get some VCs. Oh my god. Irradiated ultras are more dangerous than regular ultras. Do you hear this? I've lost like 8 medics to the radiates on these ultras. My god, those killed their weight in medics easily. Alright, so things are starting to go wrong for me, right? There's definitely some things that are going wrong right now. Pavel, thanks for the sub. Oh. Still can't believe that base. Alright, so now I'm having some BCs pop out. I'm barely mining. I'm floating a command center. I screw this up. Look at that. Random defiler in the middle of the map plagues my VCs. My god. So I'm like, okay, I move command them, then attack move. Oops, he turned around. So I move commanded again, and then of course there's Scourge waiting here. So sad. Oh yeah, that was a defense matrix I cast at the same moment a Marine died, so that was fun. So yeah, things are a little bit rough right now. But I do have a group up here. And I still have a decent amount of vessels, I think, right? Yeah. This is why I'm still in the game. So vessels just give so much value right now. So here I make a SCV wall, because the ultras basically can't break that. The AI will screw them up. They can't be attack moved. You'd have to right-click on SCVs. And it takes an ultra 3 hits to kill an SCV. But then there's like medics behind them. There's multiple SCVs. You get tons of pot shots. This is actually a tactic I've been thinking about a lot against some of these sloppy ultra games. Because a lot of times I'm not mining that much, and I have some idle SCVs that I can use to just put in front of my army some. So I utilized it this game. There's also another thing that I utilized this game that I've tried on stream a few times that people have seen. Covert ops. Let's do it! Tournament! Okay, so I cleaned this out. So here I'm just trying to gain as much value as possible. I don't really have a great income. I'm just trying to keep my vessels alive, irradiate anything I can. Obviously, this was always going to be a hard base for him to take. Kill that really easily here. I think this is the first time I really realized he had this base. I believe. Defense Matrix is so good, by the way. It's really underrated against Zerg. By the way, in the meantime... Ghosts. I love it. Alright. You're gonna see, like... Ghosts can do a couple things in a weird game. He actually saved a lot of drones there. Alright, here we go! So don't forget, I've got 3-3. They can kill lings and drones reasonably well. It's concussive damage on ghosts, by the way, which is a big part of why they're just never used. Like, what you have to remember about a ghost as well. Okay, so there's a few things. First off, ghost range is only one less than guardian range. It has long range, okay? Very long range. But unfortunately, it's concussive damage. So those... Oh, also, its cost. It's 75 gas and 25 minerals. So in a game like this, where I have such a big gas bank, I look at it as like, is a Marine twice as good as a ghost here? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh. By the way, these were my defensive BCs. I was sick of Lings and Ultras doing so much here, so I thought I'd just leave those there. Now look at this, right? You give a little shot to an Overlord, make it run away, because it's a detector. Now, here's a problem with ghosts, which, I mean, I totally understand why they are this way, but ghosts only... Yeah, concussive damage is half damage to large in buildings, so they do 5 to an Ultra. Well, I guess they have +3, right? So they do 6. Ghosts, when they're cloaked, will not attack. They will not do an auto attack. Yeah, 2 damage. Sounds about right. They won't do an auto attack. So microing ghosts is very difficult and very weird. There's actually, you'll see some of the micro that I do here. Because, yeah, I don't know. I spend too much time thinking about stupid shit like using ghosts and TVZ. Excuse me. But, like, if you want to do auto attacks, you have to decloak them. So what I generally do is I cloak them to run away from stuff and then uncloak them in an attack move. Also, their attack move... their, what do you call it when they're tracking or whatever, like when they actually lock onto what they're going to attack, their attack move is incredibly slow. So I'm gonna have to try hold position, stop position, and patrol on them because it's so slow watching them try to attack. Okay, so look here, I attack moved, I'm like, oh, they aren't doing it. I attack moved again, oh, they aren't doing it. It's just they take so long to stop and shoot. You just saw it right there. That was in real time. I attack move, they didn't attack the Scourge. I'm like, shit, did I not attack move? I did it again, they didn't do it. I'm like, oh. TT1, don't you be talking about buffing anything in this game. While ghosts do need a buff, if we buff anything, it's a slippery slope. And if anything from Protoss gets buffed, I'm leaving. I'm never playing again. Okay, so we're getting into crazy town right now, okay? I'm not mining at this moment. I am not mining, okay? I have 11 workers, and I'm killing a base with ghosts. There's a reason why I'm leaving all my units at home, by the way. Right now I'm just trying to make sure that he can't come in and kill me. And I can only micro so much at once. Right now it's all about the ghosts. Okay, so let's see. What did I do now? Where's my ghosts? Oh, here they are. They split up for some reason. Just checking for bases. Just scouting casually with my group of ghosts. Pretty good, right? Yeah. Look at that range, too. It's crazy, huh? Why did it... Oh, yeah, no, of course it would take 5 shots. Four goes hit squad. I love it. So at this point, I'm just like, what do you possibly have? And it's this one. All right, so that was my crazy game. All right, so then I was in the round of 4 of my bracket. We'll take a look at that bracket against someone called Gecko. I don't know who that is, but apparently he's quite good because he went to the finals and lost to Bishop, who's really fantastic. To make ghosts shoot while cloak, just press hold position? Is that true? I had no idea. Alright, so my brain was a little bit frazzled after that game. Whenever I have a game like that, I feel like my brain falls apart a little bit. So I don't feel like I played very well in this last series. But let's take a look at it. Yeah. In games like that, where it's like these weird, like, kind of base trade, and it's purely cognitive, like, I slow down and I become sluggish because I'm thinking so hard about all the different things that can happen and ways that things can go. And when I'm doing shit like using ghosts, it just, like, erases my intellect, I feel like. Although I actually felt like the ghosts were the right choice in that game. Because I had, like, no money, but tons of gas. And I think they did alright. I think they did in that really weird situation. I think it's the first time I ever made ghosts in a tournament against Zerg. Every now and then on the ladder I'll make them. Okay. So we both did the same opener build. You know, factory expand into 2 factory, tank and vulture. He went 3 tanks. I only went 2. Because I wanted to get up here and force some mines out really quickly. Yarr! Thanks for the sub. Here I get messed up because this vulture is like, hey, I want you to die, siege tank. Siege tank's like, okay, I'll die. And there you go, he dies. So at that point, suddenly, I'm like, oh, well, that's it. I can't do anything now other than sit behind my mines because I just lost a siege tank for free. So, I mean, he gets his facts up a little bit quicker than me. I don't think it matters very much this game. So we kind of have this no man's land. Okay, so he's walking to a really good position to siege up. Alright, so look at that. Okay. This is something... So, here's the thing. A lot of the people that I play against on the ladder, because my MMR is not as high, they will never do this. This will never occur. At lower levels of TVT, most people try to get up and get a container. You're like, they'll want to siege here, right? To block me out of here, maybe control this area so I can't have this base, right? They try to get more aggro. This is the... Oh no, I know this map better than you, siege location. When you siege here, first off, it's protecting basically everything. If you want to attack the third, look at the distance you have to go to, right? Oops. Right, you have to go like this. Whereas all he has to do is go... Right? So he can easily defend his front and easily move here if need be. Very difficult to attack. This is going to allow him to mass up really easily. Sari is someone that I watch a lot right now as well. Very fantastic Terran player. And he's always sieging in positions like this, where it's like, even if you try to contain, because I'm kind of a bimbo and I push my tanks forward a little bit more. Not as much to contain, but more to block for this ramp, because I want to be able to take this expansion when I want it. Anyways, if you try to set up a contain against someone who's sitting defensively like this, you're going to have either too many or too few units until critical mass. Critical mass is up around 150 supply and +2, where you can suddenly contain everything, because the siege tanks just have so much firepower. But lower than that, if you try to get a contain up, like let's say I rally all my units contain here. Okay, he can't break here, right? Because let's say we have the same amount of units and mine are all in siege mode in a defensive stance. He can't break it. But what he can do is leave slightly less than that and move a bunch around the map and go do something else. So this is really the way that you should be playing Fighting Spirit. So see, I'm trying to move around and do something. He just easily parries it. Right, he's still got his tank siege here. He just quickly moves some up here. His third base is quite a bit quicker than mine. I actually have a lot more units than him right now. But you can't really do much with them because he's sitting defensively, right? He's got his 2 siege lines. He's got a few mines for spotting. And he's got his group of vultures that come in to help save the day if he gets attacked. So eventually I'm going to expand. We have a bunch of little vulture scuffles around. Oh yeah, I do a push-up because I'm like... this really shows that I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm much better against people that are more aggressive or something, or when you just sit here and you're like, my mechanics are better than yours. I get nervous. I'm like, what's going on? I'm not really sure. So I pushed forward a little bit. I didn't quite get to his ramp. If you can control the ramp, it's huge. But I did not quite get there. Huh. Wonder if I could have gotten to the ramp if I tried again. No, I don't think so. It doesn't seem it. So I've got my third. I'm planning on taking a fourth here. Kind of made the command center in a funny location. But yeah, he's just kind of getting a higher quality set of army. And this kind of screws me up a little bit as well. Gets a drop in just as I'm expanding there and sending all my SCVs. Yeah, it was a lot of SCVs that fell there. And now we're hitting the moment, right? Where I'm not really quite at any sort of critical mass, but he's got a serious army going on. These tanks are trying to make sure that I can hold this base, but this is actually not enough tanks anymore. Maybe 3 minutes ago in the game, this was enough tanks that you shouldn't attack it, but right now, this is like nothing. He's also taking more commands. So he's going to be 1 base up on me when that finishes. Yeah, and he was moving his army around like I was talking about before. I have so many units out here, and he's sitting defensively, so he can just walk around. He pushed down here a little bit. You know, I'm cleaning it up, but... You can see his map presence is a lot better than mine. He's got really great mines all over. Gets another little drop there, really efficient. I'm just having a hard time. So, just kind of attack moves through. Not much you can do there. He had a solid plan, good macro, just did it. Whereas I was doing like a bunch of fool's errands. I was doing a bunch of side quests that don't get you anything. Oh, 1 second, guys. Alright, so that was game one. I knew he was better than me after that, but the thing is, Whiteout was coming up next, so I was like, there's a chance, because Whiteout is a very cheesy map in TVT. So, I invented a cheese literally the night before. Tasteless and I played in the PC Bong for like 3 hours, and I got one Terran player on Whiteout, and I made up a build. And I'm like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. His cheese was way better than mine, though. So here I am. My cheese was going to be 2-factory Vulture Goliath into drops. And just like... Because most people go Vulture here. And some people like Vulture drop and stuff. But if you go Vulture here, I was like, oh, you know what I can do is... The Goliaths beat the Vultures. And then, like, he'll... I'll just drop him with 1 dropship, then I'll run away, and then I'll drop him with 2 dropships, and that should be a lot of damage. But, I mean, he had a way better plan than me on this map. Way better. Yeah, he was even still mining gas and stuff. So 2-factory add-on speed and mine vultures. Tried to come down the ramp, but he took a good angle and he had good mines. So I was like, that's fine. I'll just get my scan up and clear it. I have my 3rd starport. Get my gulls. But he's already got tanks down here, so this is an issue, obviously. So I actually get a lot of SCVs with this, but... Yeah, I got like 10 SCVs, with 11 SCVs killed with that or so. Maybe even a little bit more. But I just can't quite break this. Yeah, you had some good targeting there as well. Yeah, so that was that. Alright. Well, there you have it. That was the end of my run there. So it was fun. It was a good tournament. Yeah. It was good times. Fun game. Well, that about does it for me, guys. Thank you for watching today. Yeah, fun going over all the replays from the ACS. I'm planning on going to ACS Busan and Daegu this weekend. So I guess we'll have another stream like this one on Monday. Of course, all the other days, all the other weekdays, I am streaming here as well. You check it out. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the follows. Make sure you do that. Do both those. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see who's on. All right. We're sending you boys over to Future. Let's do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give my buddy Future some love. He's a strong player. Fun guy. Fun stream. See you guys later.